Cardi B, we've been waiting.
Where's your sophomore album, Cardi?
That girl is being shelved.
There is an album, so you talking about no album with the what? Of course there's gonna be an album in 2019. I be feeling like a lot of people be dropping bullshit, and I'm just not that type of artist anymore.
Oh shit, it's all about this album. This album is coming, okay?
Next year, my album will be out. My secret businesses will be out. The announcement is right down near. A lot of people be like, oh, it's your kids. She's been delaying herself for the kids. And it's never really my kids. I have to take accountability that it's myself.
In April of 2018, Cardi B did what most people, especially in rap, never do. She dropped her debut album, Ivasion of Privacy, and instantly rewrote the rules. Not only did it debut at number 1 on the Billboard 200, but at that time, Cardi was the first solo female rapper to win a Grammy for Best Rap Album.
And the Grammy goes to Ivasion of Privacy, Cardi B.
Bodak Yellow won Diamond, I Like It won number 1, and critics, the same ones who dismissed her as a reality TV gimmick, had no choice but to give her props. And then nothing. Well, not nothing exactly. We got singles, WAP broke the internet.
No.
Up gave us memes.
Oh my goodness.
She featured on tracks, appeared on red carpets, she had babies, launched brands, and got into messy Twitter fights, but an actual second album nowhere to be found. And here we are 6 years later, still watching her go live to rant about literally everything except an album. But at this point, the delay has become part of her brand, and fans are starting to ask questions because the Cardi B Album Drought is no longer about impatience. It's about confusion. Hello everybody, it's Nessi. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're unpacking something that started as a minor delay and slowly turned into a full-blown mystery. Cardi B's sophomore album.
It's time to put out the fucking album.
So without further ado, let's dive in. Let's start at the beginning, April 6, 2018. Cardi B releases her debut studio album, Ivasion of Privacy, and immediately does what most new artists can't. She becomes a household name. Not just in rap, not just in music, but everywhere. The rollout was perfectly timed. The momentum of Bodak Yellow had carried her from reality TV into the mainstream. She was pregnant, engaged, and dropping one of the most anticipated rap albums of the year, and when it dropped, it was over. The charts, the internet, the Grammys, all dominated by Cardi.
And the Grammy goes to Ivasion of Privacy, Cardi B.
So let's talk numbers. Ivasion of Privacy debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200, certified 3 times platinum, first female rapper to win Best Rap Album at the Grammys as a solo artist. Every song on the album charted on the Billboard Hot 100. Even if you didn't like Cardi, you knew the album. It was that prevalent. And more importantly, it was good. Critics praised it, fans love it, and Cardi got her first taste of what it means to be taken seriously in an industry that usually laughs at women with reality TV on their resume. She went from loving hip-hop to opening the MTV VMAs, from Instagram rants to Grammy stages. It was a real-life Cinderella story, except instead of glass slippers, she had bloody red bottoms. But here's the thing about Cinderella stories. After the fairy tale ends, real life starts, and real life has pressure. Cardi had said herself that Ivasion of Privacy was made under intense time constraints. Some tracks were written just weeks before release, others she had to finish while navigating early pregnancy. So yeah, she pulled it off, but barely.
And I've just been busting my ass because it's like every night I go to the studio, but every day in the daytime I got a million things that I be doing that I can't really tell you about. And I'm just so tired. I feel so washed. I miss my mom. I miss my dad.
And once the Grammys hit, everything changed because suddenly she wasn't just a rapper with a hit album. She was a Grammy-winning artist, which in the music world is basically code for now do it again. But doing it again with the whole world watching is terrifying, especially when you've already hit the highest possible bar on your first try. So after Ivasion of Privacy took over the charts, the airways, and let's be honest, the entire cultural conversation, people were ready for more. Fans assumed that with Cardi's momentum, a second album would drop in 2019.
Of course there's gonna be an album in 2019.
Or 2020, or literally any year since then. But here's the thing, when your debut album is a game changer, dropping a follow-up isn't just about making more music, it's about beating your own record. That's a nightmare. Imagine this, you're Cardi, you just made history, you're being told you're the future of female rap, you're on magazine covers, red carpets, Forbes lists, and you barely had time to make the first album. Now the entire music industry is staring at you like, when's album number 2? Where's the music? And if you release a second album that's anything less than perfect, people will drag you through the mud like they forgot what you already achieved. She fell off, she's over, blah blah blah, you know, the usual internet nonsense. This is what artists mean when they talk about the sophomore curse. And it's especially brutal for women in rap because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Male rappers get room to flop, women don't. And Cardi knows that. She's very self-aware, which is why instead of rushing a second album out, she's been overthinking every detail, every lyric, every track.
Because you guys will complain if I don't have a perfect rollout with my album. Y'all gonna be mad. Why you didn't drop vinyls with it? Why you didn't do a performance with it? You should have dropped a music video with it. You should have dropped this. I have to take accountability for my own self. I have let a lot of the critiques and the social medias and all that stuff, I have let that shit get in my head.
Because in the social media era, your album isn't just music, it's a statement, a brand reset, a make or break moment. If she makes a second album that sounds too much like Ivasion of Privacy, people will say she's playing it safe. If she experiments and it flops, suddenly she lost her touch. It's a lose-lose situation, and Cardi knows that better than anyone. Okay, so here's the thing. It's not like Cardi disappeared after Ivasion of Privacy. In fact, she did the opposite. She stayed visible. She dropped singles and did collaborations, but something was off because instead of building hype for a second album, every single drop felt like a test. Let's start with the highs. In 2020, she dropped WAP with Megan Thee Stallion. It was bold, it was controversial. It debuted at number 1, sparked political debates, and became the most streamed song in a single week at that time. Then came Up in 2021. Another viral hit, TikTok dances, memes, radio play, the whole 9 yards. It debuted at number 2 and climbed to number 1, and for a minute it looked like Cardi was in full rollout mode, like album 2 was right around the corner and you already know the answer. Instead, she disappeared again, and when she came back in 2022, it was with Hot Shit. And And this is where things started to crack. On paper, Hot Shit had everything. A drill beat, Kanye West, Lil Durk, a big budget music video, and yet it flopped. Not in the traditional sense, it still charted, but it didn't hit the way her previous singles did. No cultural moment, no fan excitement, just silence. And then came Bongos in 2023. Another collab with Megan Thee Stallion, which sounds like a guaranteed hit on paper, but it didn't land either. The rollout was confusing. The visual was colorful, tropical, expensive, but no one really cared. No virality, no longevity, just a lot of people being disappointed that this was the follow-up to WAP. Then came Like What in 2024. It was raw, gritty, confident. It wasn't overly polished or tailored for TikTok. It just felt real. Fans loved it. Suddenly, the energy shifted. People started asking, is she finally in album mode? But instead of confirming anything, she dropped another song.
Me versus you and you know they picking. Cheap and expensive, you know the difference. You know that it's hitting, you know what it's getting.
This one also had a music video, a full promo rollout, and serious lead single energy. And again, people were hyped. Cardi's delivery was sharp, the visuals were sleek, and for the first time in years, it felt like she had something to say. And then silence again. No album announcement, no track list, not even a hint of a release date, just vibes. And this is the core of the problem. Every time Cardi builds hype with a solid release, it fizzles out before it can become part of a bigger moment. No follow-through, no era, no structure. So instead of being in an album rollout, we're stuck in a loop. Release, viral moment, fan hype, silence, confusion. That cycle isn't just exhausting, it's damaging because fans start to feel like they're being played, like they're being led on over and over again, and Cardi B is not helping the confusion. She'll say a song isn't the lead, then vanish. She'll tease visuals, then vanish. She would tweet about the album, then disappear for 3 months. At this point, it's less of a rollout and more of a guessing game, and it raises a bigger question. If Cardi doesn't know what the plan is, how are we supposed to? Behind the scenes, she has been working. Writers and producers have hinted at studio sessions. Cardi herself has posted snippets and said she has songs done. The issue isn't that she has nothing, it's that she's sitting on something and choosing not to release it. The first time around, she had nothing to lose. Now she's built an empire. If this next album underperforms, the media will drag her, the fans will turn, the industry will whisper maybe she was just a one-hit wonder, and Cardi knows it. And look, we're not owed an album, but the issue here is expectation versus reality. Every time she hints at the album, it feels like a promise, and every time she disappears, it feels like a letdown. This is coming from a fan of Cardi B. I love her music, but the fandom is tired. People are joking that the album is starting to feel like the musical version of GTA 6, forever coming, never arriving. So, is the album still coming? I think yes, at least probably. Cardi has said 2025 is the year. She said she's finally ready, that she's getting serious and she wants to tour again. But fans have heard it all before. The trust is broken, and if it doesn't happen soon, it might not matter when it happens, because even the most loyal fans can only wait so long before the excitement turns into frustration and eventually silence. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this one. And please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think the album is coming, or will Cardi just keep releasing singles? I personally think and hope the album is coming eventually, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. And with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you very soon.